Imagine your body is a factory. A beautiful, incredibly sophisticated factory. Millions of workers, every system talking to every other system. Perfectly designed to run for 100 years with the right fuel. Now imagine someone has been secretly swapping out the clean fuel for a cheaper, dirtier substitute every single day, for decades. The machines still run, but the pipes are corroding, the filters are clogging, the workers are exhausted, and the manager, your brain, has been so busy managing the chaos that it has completely forgotten what it feels like to run clean. That cheap fuel is sugar, and today we are going to walk through exactly what happens to your factory day by day when you finally cut it off. Not just weight loss, not just energy, every system, every stage, the full picture. Let's start the clock.
The moment you stop eating sugar, the factory panics. For years, refined sugar has been the easiest, fastest fuel your body knows. It floods the bloodstream in minutes. Your brain gets a dopamine hit, the same chemical released by cocaine, by gambling, by anything your brain has decided it wants more of. Every time sugar walked through the factory doors, the whole floor lit up. Now the doors are closed, and the workers don't know what to do. This is why days 1 through 3 feel like withdrawal, because they are withdrawal. Your blood sugar, which has been spiked and crashed on repeat for years, has to find its own baseline for the first time in a long time. Your cortisol ticks up. Your brain sends urgent signals. Where's the fuel? Where's the easy fuel? You will feel headaches, irritability, a fog that sits behind your eyes, cravings that hit hardest in the afternoon. You may feel genuinely unwell. This is not weakness. This is the factory refusing to believe the cheap fuel is gone. Push through it, because what comes next changes everything. By day 3, something quiet begins to happen in the pipes. Every time refined sugar floods your bloodstream, your immune system responds as if something has gone wrong. It releases inflammatory chemicals, cytokines, that put your entire system on high alert. Your joints, your gut lining, your blood vessels, all of it slightly inflamed, all of it slightly on fire. Most people have lived in this low-grade state for so long they think it is just how their body feels. It isn't. By day 5, the inflammatory signals begin to drop. The factory is no longer spending enormous energy managing the damage from dirty fuel. Workers that were constantly on cleanup duty start doing their actual jobs. Joints feel less stiff in the morning. Bloating eases. The face looks less puffy. Skin starts to look more alive. And deep in the gut, the microbial landscape is shifting. The aggressive bacteria that thrive on sugar, the ones that crowd out everything else, are losing their food supply. The resilient strains, the ones that build immunity and regulate mood, begin to reclaim the floor. In less than 1 week, your factory's internal ecosystem has already begun to rebalance. Here is where the real transformation begins. For years, your factory was built to run on one power source: refined sugar, fast carbohydrates, the easy switch on the wall. Flip it, and the lights come on instantly. But easy switches wear out fast. They spike, they crash, they demand to be flipped again every 2 to 3 hours. Now that the easy switch is gone, your factory has to do something it hasn't done in years. It has to build new infrastructure. Your liver begins to get more efficient at converting fat and protein into energy. Your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside every single cell, begin to multiply and strengthen to handle a cleaner, more stable fuel. This process takes 7 to 10 days to fully kick in. During this window, you may still feel flat, slower than usual, a little hollow. That is not collapse, that is construction. Because by day 10 or 11, the new infrastructure comes online. The afternoon crashes disappear. That 2 p.m. wall you have hit every single day for years, gone. Your blood sugar is no longer spiking and plummeting. It is running steady, flat, consistent. And your brain, running on stable fuel for the first time in years, starts to wake up. The fog lifts, words come easier, thoughts feel less cluttered, tasks that felt heavy start to feel manageable. The factory is running cleaner, and everyone inside can feel it. By the halfway point, 3 critical parts of the factory are quietly being rebuilt. The outer walls, your skin. Sugar triggers a process called glycation. This is where sugar molecules physically attach to the proteins in your body, including collagen, the structural material that keeps your skin firm and elastic. The result is what scientists call AGEs, advanced glycation end products. They are literally what they sound like. They corrode the factory walls. They make collagen stiff and brittle. They accelerate wrinkles, dullness, uneven tone. They age the building faster than time does. When sugar stops coming in, glycation slows. New collagen forms without being immediately damaged. By week 2 and 3, people consistently report their skin looks brighter, tighter, more like themselves. The processing plant, your liver. Most people think liver damage is about alcohol, but fructose, the sugar hiding in your soda, your juice, your pasta sauce, your granola bar, is processed almost exclusively by the liver. Flood it daily, and the liver converts the excess into fat and stores it directly in its own tissue. 1 in 4 adults worldwide has a fatty liver. Most of them have no idea. With the fructose tap turned off, your liver begins to mobilize and burn that stored fat. The processing plant, clogged for years, is finally clearing its backlog. The central pump, your heart. High sugar intake drives up triglycerides, the fat particles that clog your arteries. It suppresses HDL, your protective cholesterol. By week 3, studies show measurable improvements in both, not from medication, not from surgery, from removing one ingredient from the factory floor. This is the part most people never reach, and it is the most important part of all. Because sugar doesn't just affect the factory floor, it reprograms the control room, your brain. Here is what happened over years of sugar consumption. Every dopamine hit from sugar caused your brain's receptors to slightly dull their sensitivity. The control room kept getting flooded with signals until it stopped responding normally. You needed more sugar to feel the same reward. The baseline kept creeping up. This is tolerance. This is addiction, not as a metaphor, as a mechanism. By day 21, something extraordinary begins to reverse. Without the constant flooding, the receptors begin to wake back up. Their sensitivity returns. The control room recalibrates to the real world. And suddenly, a strawberry tastes like a strawberry again. Not boring, not bland, genuinely, surprisingly sweet. Natural foods that once tasted like nothing begin to carry flavor again. The control room is reading accurate signals for the first time in years. But it goes far beyond taste. Anxiety drops. Sugar spikes cortisol, your primary stress hormone. Remove the spikes, and your nervous system stops riding the cortisol carousel. The factory hum, that low-level tension you stopped noticing because it was always there, begins to quiet. Sleep deepens. Stable blood sugar overnight means your body is no longer waking itself up to manage glucose crashes at 3 a.m. You sleep through. You wake rested in a way that feels almost unfamiliar. And mood steadies. Serotonin, your brain's primary mood stabilizer, is produced largely in the gut. By day 21, with the gut's microbial landscape dramatically shifted, the bacteria that support serotonin production are thriving. People at this stage describe feeling calmer, more even, steadier for no obvious reason. The control room is finally running the factory, not the other way around.
On day 30, you are not the same person who started. Not metaphorically, literally. Your inflammatory markers are measurably lower. Your liver is clearing its stored fat. Your skin is producing new, undamaged collagen. Your gut has rebuilt a healthier microbial community. Your dopamine receptors are more sensitive. Your insulin sensitivity has dramatically improved, meaning your body needs far less insulin to do the same job, cutting your long-term risk of type 2 diabetes. Your triglycerides are down. Your blood pressure may have dropped. Your sleep is deeper. Your anxiety is quieter. Your energy is steady. The factory is running on clean fuel. And you did all of that without a single prescription, without a single procedure, by simply stopping the delivery of the one substance that was slowly corroding everything.
Now here is what most videos don't tell you. Day 30 is not the finish line. Day 30 is the moment the factory, now running beautifully, sends up a signal. You did the hard work. You earned a reward. And the reward it asks for is sugar. This is the trap. Here is the truth. A single deliberate dessert in an otherwise healthy life is not what destroyed your metabolism. One piece of birthday cake did not clog your arteries. What destroyed the factory was the hidden fuel swap happening without your knowledge. The sugar in your bread, your pasta sauce, your salad dressing, your flavored yogurt, your protein bar. The 71 grams per day the average adult consumes without ever making a single conscious choice. The goal of 30 days was never to make you afraid of a strawberry. The goal was to clean the pipes, rebuild the infrastructure, reset the control room, so that when sweetness comes back into your life, it comes in on your terms, not because a label engineered your craving, because you chose it. We live inside a food system that is built on your dependency. Sugar is not just an ingredient, it is a business model. And for decades, that business model has been running your factory without your permission. But now you know what happens when you take the controls back. Day by day, system by system, your factory has been waiting to run clean. It just needed you to stop delivering the thing that was breaking it. If you try this 30-day reset, tell me in the comments what hit you hardest. The day 3 withdrawal when the cravings peaked, or the day 10 construction phase when the energy flatlined before it came back. I'll see you in the next one.